I need to tell you about a woman named Claire. 3 weeks ago, Claire tried to remortgage her 4-bedroom semi-detached home in Bristol. She's lived there for 12 years. Never missed a payment. Perfect credit score. The house was valued at £485,000 in 2023. Her mortgage broker submitted applications to 7 different lenders. Every single one came back with the same response: application declined. Property unmortgageable. Why? Because in 2019, Claire had spray foam insulation installed in her loft. She paid £4,800 for it. The installer told her it would save £600 a year on energy bills and add value to her home. That spray foam has now made her property worthless in the eyes of every major UK lender. Claire can't remortgage. She can't sell, because buyers can't get mortgages. Her fixed rate expires in February 2026, and her monthly payment is about to jump from £1,240 to £2,180. And there is absolutely nothing she can do about it. Tonight, I'm going to expose the spray foam scandal that's already destroyed the mortgageability of over 250,000 UK homes, and the number is growing every single day. I'm going to show you why lenders are now treating spray foam like structural defects, why removal can cost up to £25,000, and why the government has known about this crisis for 2 years and done absolutely nothing. If you have spray foam insulation, or you're thinking of buying a property that has it, you need to watch every second of this video. Because what I'm about to tell you could save you from financial ruin. The sales pitch versus the reality. Let's start with what you were told. Between 2015 and 2023, tens of thousands of UK homeowners were sold spray foam insulation by companies promising revolutionary energy savings. They'd tell you, it'll cut your heating bills by 40%. It's the most efficient insulation on the market. Government-backed Green Homes Grant approved. Adds thousands to your property value. And the installation was quick, usually done in a single day. A team would spray polyurethane foam directly onto the underside of your roof tiles, creating an airtight seal across the entire loft space. On paper, it sounded perfect. In reality, it's a ticking time bomb. The hidden structural damage. Here's what the spray foam installers didn't tell you, or didn't know themselves. Traditional UK homes built before 1990 were designed with ventilated roof spaces. Air flows through the eaves, circulates under the tiles, and exits through ridge vents. This ventilation serves a critical purpose: it allows moisture to escape. When you spray foam directly onto roof tiles, you eliminate that ventilation completely. You create an airtight barrier. And when moisture gets trapped, from condensation, from roof leaks, from humidity rising through the house, it has nowhere to go. That moisture sits against the timber rafters and the underside of your roof tiles. Day after day. Month after month. Year after year. And slowly, invisibly, your roof structure begins to rot. I've seen surveyor reports showing catastrophic timber decay in homes where spray foam was installed just 5 years ago. Rafters that are structurally compromised. Roof tiles that can't be inspected or replaced without tearing out the foam. Wood that's turned black with mold and rot. One surveyor I spoke to, a man with 30 years of experience, told me he's now seeing homes where the entire roof structure needs to be replaced because of spray foam damage. We're talking £40,000 to £70,000 in repair costs. And the homeowners had no idea it was happening. Because it's all hidden behind the foam. The 2023 lending policy shift. So why are lenders suddenly refusing to mortgage properties with spray foam? It started quietly in late 2022. Nationwide Building Society updated their lending criteria to include a clause about spray foam insulation. If a property had it, they required a specialist report confirming the roof was still ventilated and structurally sound. Then in March 2023, Halifax and Lloyds Banking Group, 2 of the UK's largest mortgage lenders, went further. They issued internal guidance stating that properties with spray foam installed directly onto roof tiles would be considered non-standard construction and would require specialist underwriting. By September 2023, this had escalated. Barclays, NatWest, Santander, and TSB all updated their policies. The message was clear: spray foam equals mortgage declined. Today, in January 2025, over 85% of UK mortgage lenders will either outright decline applications for spray foam properties, or they'll impose conditions so strict that approvals are virtually impossible. The unmortgageable nightmare. Let me show you what this means in practice. I've obtained a leaked internal memo from a top 5 UK lender dated November 2024. It explicitly states, properties with spray foam insulation applied directly to roof timbers or tiles are to be declined at application stage. No exceptions. Values are instructed to red flag these properties and recommend decline even if all other criteria are met. This isn't a temporary policy. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is a permanent lending ban. And here's why it's so catastrophic: if your property is unmortgageable, it's also unsellable. Because 90% of UK property purchases require a mortgage. If buyers can't get mortgages, you can't sell your home. You're trapped. Financially imprisoned in your own property. The valuation death sentence. But it gets worse. Even if you find a cash buyer, someone who doesn't need a mortgage, you'll face another problem: the valuation. RICS surveyors are now being instructed to flag spray foam as a material defect in their reports. They're required to state that the roof structure cannot be properly inspected, that there's a high risk of hidden timber decay, and that removal and remediation could cost £15,000 to £30,000. I've seen properties valued at £450,000 in 2022, before the spray foam issue was widely known, now being valued at £280,000 in 2024 after surveyors flagged the foam. That's a £170,000 loss in value. Not because of market conditions. Not because of the location. But because of a £5,000 insulation job that was supposed to add value to the home. The £25,000 question. So if spray foam makes your property unmortgageable, the obvious solution is to remove it, right? Wrong. Because removal is a nightmare. Spray foam bonds permanently to timber and tiles. You can't just peel it off. It has to be mechanically scraped, chiseled, and cut away, millimeter by millimeter. And if it's bonded to the underside of your roof tiles, removing it often damages or destroys the tiles themselves. I spoke to a specialist spray foam removal company in Leeds. They told me that a typical 3-bedroom semi-detached house with full loft coverage costs between £12,000 and £18,000 to remove. And that's just removal, it doesn't include replacing damaged roof tiles, £3,000 to £8,000. Repairing damaged timber rafters, £2,000 to £6,000. Reventilating the roof space, £1,500 to £3,000. Disposing of the foam waste, which is classified as hazardous, £800 to £1,200. Total cost? £19,300 to £36,200. And here's the cruelest part: even after you've paid £25,000 to remove the foam, you still need to pay for replacement insulation. Because your loft is now completely bare. So you're looking at £30,000 to £40,000 total to undo a £5,000 insulation job you were told would save you money. The insurance betrayal. Now let's talk about insurance, because this is where it gets truly Kafkaesque. Homeowners are discovering that their insurance won't cover spray foam removal or the damage it caused. Why? Because it's considered maintenance or wear and tear, not sudden accidental damage. I've reviewed 3 separate insurance claim denials. In each case, the insurer stated, damage caused by spray foam insulation is not covered under this policy as it results from a deliberate modification to the property structure, not an insured peril. Translation: you chose to install it. You live with the consequences. And good luck suing the installation company. Most of the spray foam installers from 2015 to 2020 are no longer trading. They've gone bust, changed names, or dissolved. The ones still operating claim they followed industry standards at the time and have liability insurance capped at £50,000, nowhere near enough to cover the damage. Homeowners are on their own. 250,000 homes and counting. Let me give you the numbers that should terrify the entire UK property market. Between 2015 and 2023, approximately 260,000 to 310,000 UK homes had spray foam insulation installed in loft spaces. The majority of these installations were concentrated in 3 periods. 2015 to 2017, the energy efficiency boom. 2019 to 2020, the Green Homes Grant Scheme. 2021 to 2022, the energy price crisis panic. These properties are scattered across the entire country, but there are concentration zones: the South East, the Midlands, Yorkshire, and Scotland. Right now, the vast majority of these homeowners don't know they have a problem. Because they are still on fixed-rate mortgages from 2020, 2021, or 2022. They haven't tried to remortgage yet. But between now and the end of 2026, over 180,000 of these homeowners will attempt to remortgage or sell. And that's when they'll discover their property is unmortgageable. The 2026 time bomb. Here's the timeline of disaster. Q1 2025, awareness spreads slowly. Individual horror stories start appearing on property forums. Q2, Q3 2025, media coverage increases. More lenders tighten policies. Q4 2025, Q2 2026, the mortgage reset wave hits spray foam properties. Mass remortgage denials. Q3 2026, forced sales flood the market. Prices collapse for affected properties. And here's what nobody's prepared for: the contagion effect. When 250,000 properties become unmortgageable, it doesn't just affect those 250,000 homeowners. It affects entire streets. Because buyers will start avoiding any area known to have spray foam properties. Property values in those areas will drop across the board, even for homes without spray foam. This is a systemic risk to the UK housing market. And the government is pretending it doesn't exist. If you have spray foam, if your property has spray foam insulation, you need to act immediately. Step 1. Get a specialist survey from a RICS surveyor who understands spray foam issues. This will cost £600 to £900, but you need to know the extent of any damage now. Step 2. Get removal quotes from at least 3 specialist companies. You need to understand the true cost. Step 3. If you're planning to remortgage or sell in the next 18 months, start the removal process now. Don't wait. Every month you delay, more lenders tighten their policies. If you're buying a property, always ask about spray foam before making an offer. Check the EPC. Ask the seller directly. Insist on a full loft inspection. If spray foam is present, walk away. Do not buy that property, even at a 30% discount, unless you have cash to pay for removal and repairs. The government silence. The government has known about this crisis since mid-2023. They've done nothing. No compensation scheme. No installer liability framework. No lender guidance. Nothing. Why? Because acknowledging the problem would trigger a market panic affecting 250,000 properties worth a combined £40 billion to £60 billion. So they're staying silent. Hoping it blows over. Hoping homeowners absorb the losses quietly. But it won't blow over. And we need to make noise. Share this video. Send it to your MP, send it to every homeowner you know. Because the spray foam scandal is the biggest hidden crisis in UK property, and almost nobody knows it exists. Until it destroys them. I'll see you in the next one.